Hello and welcome to Fresh Perspectives. My name is Gail, and this is hard to believe, but it is the Mother's Day weekend, and I am here dressed in bundled up in 2 layers of clothing, and it is snowing outside. But anyway, just to get to the topic for the day, my guest today is Randy Burt, who is part of the crew here at the studio, so he's usually here working on Saturdays. We're going to talk about photography because it's something that Randy loves to do, and I got the idea for today's show when I saw these pictures in the newspaper a few weeks ago, and these are pictures of the Winter Garden Theater in Jamestown before it was torn down, and an article about it, and Randy is actually mentioned in the article, and there's a picture of the seats in the Winter Garden and a picture of a projector. And then on the inside page, there's a picture of the Winter Garden when it was being demolished. And down here is a picture of the screen at the Winter Garden. I can remember going to various movies at the Winter Garden years ago when it was still being used. Now, Randy, you're really interested in photography. Why and when did you get started?
Well, before I get started, the article I sent to the Post-Journal, it was 10 years ago. They tore it down, and they had put pictures in the paper about 10 years ago, so they used their pictures again, fade to black, and we had an article within a couple days. I talked to Mr. Whitaker at the Post-Journal and then a reporter, and so they did the article for a weekend edition of the Post-Journal. But the Winter Garden was interesting because we just went in there, and it took forever to get in. They were taking asbestos out of it,
Ooh.
and finally I get a call that I can go in if I'm there by a certain time. Well, I lived in Mayville, and it was past that time, and I'm like really depressed. Well, I get another call. Well, they're taking the projectors out Friday morning. If you can get down there, then you can photograph it. So myself, my cousin, a photographer friend of his, Norm Carlson from the Fenton, we all went down there, a couple other people, and the only way you could see it there was to aim a flashlight at something and then let your camera focus and use the flash on your camera. But it was interesting. It was sad. I had never been to the Winter Garden, even though I thought I had, but I watched it. They were able to save the 2 projectors. They took them over to the Reg Lene. One's set up in the lobby now. They didn't save films. I think my cousin and his friend got a couple films, but over the projection room was just full of films, and as they started tearing into the Winter Garden, the films were just falling out in the debris, and it was like, that's sad.
Yeah.
But they were so worried that somebody was going to burn it down. People would sneak in there and stuff. So
yeah, people go in and do things in vacant buildings.
Yeah, I guess people had been in there, and
yeah.
They had an old candy machine in there that I really wanted, but I heard through the grapevine that it disappeared the first night they did started tearing it down. So I think somebody did get it. But okay.
Yeah.
So you were asking me when I started photography?
Right.
I started photography in about 1972.
Mm-hmm. Well, you were still in high school then,
yeah,
right?
I don't even know how old I was, but we were on a trip to New York City and then up to the Adirondacks, and I got the little cheap, I think 126 camera, and I took a couple rolls. Back then, it was expensive. It took forever to get film developed, so.
Oh, yeah.
But after that, I started taking pictures, and I've used a lot of different cameras over the years.
Okay. Okay, let's talk about your cameras and all of the cameras that you've used.
Okay, well, I have several here. This one right here, wasn't mine. I don't even know if you could get film for it anymore, but it's a Polaroid camera.
And you said you don't know how old the camera
I don't
actually
know the
is.
age of it right now. Probably somewhere on here it would tell, but a friend gave it to me, and so I kept it. But this is how you did pictures back then, where you could get them in about a minute's time. They would pop
the
out,
Polaroid,
and you would hold them,
yeah,
and they would pop out. And
Yeah.
back then it was really cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that would be a Polaroid camera. Well, having multi-cameras over the years, the second one I'm going to show you this is a Canon AE1 program. It's really sort of weird looking. This one has an automatic setting, so you can put it on automatic and hope the exposure's right. This camera has been around the world once or twice with me.
Oh, on your travels.
I did a lot of pictures in the 80s with this camera after I bought it. I sold my AE1 without the program, the one that you didn't have the automatic, to a friend for like $50 one time. And so I went with this camera, and this took film, which is, this is your film for people that are in a new generation that don't know what film is. This one's
Well,
destroyed now. This one.
It really wasn't too many years ago that you could still get film.
I think you can still get it, but it's really expensive.
Is it really?
But back in the old days, you would take it, and this is actually from Tops.
Tops grocery store?
I bought film everywhere because I went through a lot of film. Every one of these came in a little plastic container for protection.
Oh, right. Yeah,
I had
right.
hundreds of those stupid plastic containers. Most you could do back then was throw them away.
Oh, yeah.
But,
yeah.
So you could get either a 24, I think a 12, 24, and 36 exposure film.
Right.
So you went through film a lot. Once you got it done back a long time ago, you either had to take it to a drugstore or you had to send it away to get developed. It took forever. You get pictures back, they'd be all blue. They'd be really...
Sometimes you didn't know ahead of time if they were going to turn out good.
If they were even going to turn out.
Because you had no way of checking it out. Nowadays you have cameras where you can actually see how they look, so you know if you don't want to bother with them.
They got automatic advanced cameras back then where you just would pull the trigger on it and it would move to the next frame.
Right.
Problem was, if you didn't get this loaded right, you're going to take a whole roll of film and it hasn't done anything.
Oh.
You find out at the end, all these pictures you took were...
They
didn't come out
they
because
don't exist.
The film didn't exist.
Yeah.
I even did that one time underwater and my camera went, "Ooh!" And it turns out it was just that I'd never loaded the film right. Then I went from that to, I'm going to say this was probably my second digital camera. Well, I did ads for the YMCA swim team. Well, the parents took up a collection, give me $100. I bought this.
Oh.
I'm all excited, Well, I used it once or twice and had it in my pocket and crashed my bicycle and fell on it.
Oh, geez.
The camera would work, but the viewer wouldn't work anymore.
Oh.
So this would be, trying to think even how you do it here. That's battery compartment.
So after it broke, you could take a picture, but you
couldn't see it.
You couldn't see what it.
You couldn't see what it was till you got it into a computer.
Yeah.
And then I worked my way up to this was just before the digital age. This is a film camera. It's a Canon EOS. I hardly ever used it because right after I got it, I used it a little, and then I went digital, which was like so much nicer because people were starting to put pictures on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
I would have to get them developed, and they started 1-hour services, at different places, Walmart and stuff, and I'd have to go home, and if I wanted to put a picture on the internet, I had to scan it and then scan it to the computer, and it was terrible. It was I did a lot of them though, but this would take film. You could shoot slides with it. You couldn't shoot movies with it like modern day cameras, and
modern day telephones even.
Oh man. And I'm just going to talk real fast. These are slides.
Yeah.
Everybody in my generation knows what a slide is. you would put it in a projector and hope that it would pop down and show up on a screen on the wall.
Yeah, you'd have to have a big, for those of you who are really young, you'd have to have like a movie,
Yeah,
a whole movie
big
screen.
white screen.
They had like, you could have your own home movie cameras. That was like in the 1960s.
And a lot of times they would like get
And-
stuck in
projector.
and
You'd have to buy a movie, if you were going to take home movies, then you'd have to buy a little,
the projector, the
projector,
screen, and
you'd have to have a
have
screen.
them developed. And
There was a lot of really big, cumbersome equipment.
yeah, my ma had lights for the movie projector she originally had that were like 4 floodlights. And they got hot. It's like, I'm surprised we didn't burn the house down.
Probably.
And
yeah.
Gail, I know you told me you have a movie projector.
Yeah, from
So
the
the-
1960s.
Yeah, they quit making them probably in the 80s, I think. But this is a 8mm movie that you could shoot. It's 50 feet long, lasts 3 or 4 minutes in your camera. It took forever or projector would take forever to load it, and then the film would break a lot on you, and
Oh, yeah.
it was really annoying. Now you got a little video camera, you can just go out. And after that, I just got a new toy. This is a digital camera. It's a Nikon. I've been using the camera for a few years. I just got the lens the other day.
Oh, yeah.
This lens will go from wide angle to a 400 zoom telephoto, which is,
Wow.
it's awesome. It saves me from switching lenses all the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
And I like to do wildlife, so it definitely, it's expensive, but it does a good job.
Okay, say something to the viewing audience about equipment they would need to develop their own pictures
Yep.
at home instead of having to go to one of those kiosks.
Now, if you have a computer, they usually come with a program on them to edit pictures. What you're going to do is take your pictures, you're going to pull the little SD card out. Usually they have different kinds of cards. You're going to just insert it into the plug on your computer, and there will be a prompt how to load it. You'll load it, and then you can edit it, crop it, you can brighten it, darken it, add effects to it. But this is all we use now instead of film. This is a 64 gig. It'll hold several thousand pictures.
Oh, wow.
Compared to most you could get was 36 with
Okay.
the
So,
old type.
so there's no other equipment you can get at home other than the computer then?
Yeah, pretty much computers your
Is
way
about
to
the
go.
only
You
one.
can actually take the card out. I think you take it to Walmart, put it in their machine and print pictures out.
Okay.
And once you get it in, you can go online and also do it, and then you can actually send your pictures through the internet to Walmart or something, and within an hour they're printed for you, where you waited weeks and weeks.
And
to
then you
film.
have to go to Walmart to pick
pick
them
them
up.
up. Usually
Okay.
you can either pay online or pay right there, and they're ready when you get there. So,
Uh-huh.
I mean, Walmart has kiosks where you can go in the store
Where
and
you
do
can
it,
go in the
but
store and do
so much
it.
easier to do it and send the pictures there and have them ready when
Okay.
you
Okay.
get done with it. And one last thing, well, this is a flash. Probably a lot of you remember the old flash cubes.
Oh, yeah.
The little cube you put in, it might work, it might not. They cost a lot of money, but that's to brighten up your picture. And
That's not a camera, it's just
this goes on top of your camera.
on top of the camera.
It'll mount like right up here.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
this one will syncs in with my Nikon,
Uh-huh.
so it'll usually give you the right exposure. But there's all kinds of tricks to that.
You know, I've got to tell you, when I was a kid back in the 1950s and 1960s, there was always a flash facing you when somebody took your picture. And every time somebody would take a picture of me, I'd see these like things floating around in front of my eyes for a long time afterwards. So it really bothered me so much that I sort of, in a way, had developed a phobia of
I'm not
getting
sure if that's a
get-
stigmatism.
of getting my picture taken or what, but then I wound up, so then I would kind of get nervous and scared
Yeah.
when they were going to take my picture. So I'd
close your eyes.
wind up all of these pictures. My mother used to complain about it
Your
all
eyes
the
are
time,
closed.
that my eyes would be closed when my picture was
So
taken.
now that's the difference. You look at baby pictures, little kids, they're not afraid of them, so their eyes are always
Are they
big and
really?
open. But as we get older, we're like, well, that flash is going to go off. Even though if you don't even have a flash on a camera, you just got that feeling that
Yeah.
you're going to get zapped in the eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
But so besides using cameras like that, I have a drone. Not a good drone.
A drone that's a camera.
This is a camera here on the drone. Very poor quality, but what it'll do is you have a remote control, you'll hook your cell phone to it,
Oh,
and it'll record to your cell phone.
oh.
So the video or pictures will be on your cell phone, but the quality of this camera is absolutely horrible. If you can see up here, I have a second camera, a little box camera. It's for racing drones. I don't have it with me. I don't know what I did with it, but I think the quality is a lot better of that. But I've only flown this one once. I lost my first one like it.
Oh, you
Flown
are?
around up here in Mayville somewhere. It took off the baseball field and it kept going.
Oh,
So
oh,
it could be in
gosh.
Canada for all I know. But
Yeah.
drones, they have some that are really expensive. You see drone pictures, they're beautiful, the quality. But this one is absolutely, it's like about a $60 drone, and the quality is really bad on it. And the only other thing I tried over the years, but before we do that, I had some pictures to show way back yonder. Chris,
Oh,
can you bring up the first 7 pictures and we'll look at them? These are some I actually didn't take.
oh, you didn't take those.
Now this is living in a black and white world,
Yeah,
because they didn't have color film when we were kids, so they.
I remember that. I do. You know, I actually like. I have several years ago. I managed to get some rolls of black and white film, and I really like the way the pictures turned
Oh yeah,
out.
they're crisp. You can change it with your photo editing program now for digital. You can like that. And you got black and white or sepia.
Oh,
But these are some my mom took when I was really little. We got more. This is Allen Park in Jamestown. I'm in the middle. My sister's on the right. My cousin Steve's on the left.
oh,
I want to recreate that. We're all still alive. I want to go down there. They've cleaned out the pool. There's no water in it, but I think it'd be cool after 55, almost 60 years.
yeah.
These are just some my
Is
ma
that
had.
you?
That's me when I was little. My ma had them done. It's the first time I ever took it out of a photo album. It's been in this big photo album she had. So these are black and white was awesome. There's a
Oh
couple.
yeah, oh yeah.
Look at me, man. I don't
What-
know if I'm
how
cuter
old-
then.
What was that? Junior high or
Oh gosh, this was little kid.
really?
Yeah, I'm not even sure.
That almost looks like it could have been your school picture.
No, I don't even think I was in school yet.
Really?
And then I got one more, I think of that. This is what I really want to get into in photography is portraits.
Oh, oh
I
yeah.
haven't had a lot of luck with taking portrait pictures.
Uh-huh.
Chris, is that all on these? Okay, the other ones, well, let's see, where are we here? Okay. The next question is,
What other kinds of photography have you done?
I have done photography from airplanes, model rockets, drones, scuba diving. I've laid like 90 feet on the bottom of the ocean taking pictures. Helicopters. I had an old 1919 Kodak camera at one time I used that came out not bad. The viewer didn't work too good on it. You had to look straight down into it, and I've taken them from boats. I love photographing boats. You'll see me chasing the Chautauqua Belle all summer long. I took a camera. I went roller skating down to Gold Star roller rink when it was there. I would skate around carrying a camera, taking pictures.
Oh.
Hot air balloons, roller coasters, and we have some pictures that I have here, Chris, number 17 through 19. And don't ask, I forgot, I have them here. Okay.
Oh, 17 to 19.
Yeah, the picture 17 is going to be scuba diving. This is taken with my camera. The quality's not that great. I spent probably $300 on a camera and a flash, but
Who took the pic?
one of my dive buddies that was with me, you give them the camera and they take it.
That's you?
That's me diving
Okay.
on the bottom of the ocean. The next picture is the fish. And another diver. This is a different diver. He's got an eel on the bottom there.
Oh, yes,
Big
I
eel.
see it.
But
yes.
those little butterfly fish will bounce off your mask.
Oh, will they?
They're really cool when you get down there. I mean, they're looking in to see who's there. And I tried my luck at weddings, which should be the next two pictures.
What is that?
That's a moray eel.
moray eel?
Yeah, they come out at you like they got big teeth. They'll bite onto you and they won't let go.
Oh,
One
gosh.
lady from the dive shop was 70. She'd go down on a mahi shipwreck and feed them.
Oh,
And
gosh.
the first time she did that, I think my air went.
Oh.
I used it up real fast, but they come out of a tube. They're one tube screen were like 6 feet long, but they're hiding all over down there. All of a sudden, you're taking a picture and an eel pop out at you. And I haven't been bit by one yet, but I guess my next pictures are. One of them, I set the camera up on a tripod, and I think it shot myself. It's me in my old car. Yeah, I'm getting ahead of Chris here.
Oh. Oh,
This
my
is
gosh.
my Bug 747.
Oh, my gosh.
I had my uncle build it for me.
He built it for you?
Yeah, I bought all the fenders and tires and the Continental front, or the Rolls Royce front, the Continental back. At one time I had fog lights up about where my hand is, and I was coming up North Main Street, and I turned them on for a second, and some car thought I was a cop. They pulled over. I just kept going, like, oops. But that was my most favorite car I ever had. But they called it a pregnant roller skate back in the CB days.
A pregnant roller
'cause
skate.
it had the wide fenders on it and big tires on the back. The next picture is just one. The year I was a yearbook photographer, this is me on the left. My typing teacher decides she's going to take a picture. So
You're the one closest to the
yeah, that's me.
camera?
I had hair. And I did a couple pictures for her that year of typing class or typing contests and stuff for the Post Journal. So that's where I got my start, taking pictures. Let's see, where are we here?
Yeah, I can remember when those electric typewriters were
I was terrible.
the
I got
modern.
through the class, but just barely.
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, me too.
I was her photographer. She actually got me out of class 2 times to go to the library, once on the hard floor. And she was a fitness person.
Uh-huh.
And I had to get pictures of her jump roping.
Oh,
It's like
oh gosh.
her first time it was on a hard floor, and her brother goes, "No, you got to do it on the soft floor." So second time she got me out, and I went to the high school library and photographed her. But the next,
And you went to high school in Faulkner,
yeah,
is that right?
her name was
Yeah.
Miss Odell. She was cool. I have done wedding photography. I have 2 pictures here. My cousin
That
Kev and Alice, they got married, I think it's been like 35 years ago.
was the bride your cousin?
No,
the groom. The
Groom's
groom
my
was your cousin. Okay.
And the other pictures, like I think the whole group. Back then I would just do them, for people.
Oh yeah.
It's sort of weird to look back at them. I did a lot of weddings. I don't do them for money. I just do them for, people that ask me. I'm not the greatest. So
That's what he's trying to tell those of you in the viewing audience. Don't hire me.
Yeah, I'm not that good.
Yeah.
Okay, then picture number 10, Chris, is the next 3 pictures. I was at Niagara Falls in 1985, and 2 of the Blue Angels were doing a loop, and they crashed.
Oh gosh.
Now this plane, the pilot ejected from, and survived. The other one was up on the other end of the runway, but this is when it first
Oh, my
hits the ground.
gosh.
That's how close it was to the crowd.
Oh my gosh.
That's the fire a plane will make. But that guy survived.
Well,
And there was one just like that on the other end of the runway. That guy, he didn't make it.
Oh, that's too
As
bad.
they did a loop, they should have aborted. They didn't, and somehow he hit. We thought it was part of the show because we saw the canopy ejector. We thought it was like there's some bang, to make it part of the show. But
That must have been pretty
it
horrifying.
ended the air show right
to
then.
have to be there to witness
Yeah, there was
that.
probably 500,000 people there.
Was really unpleasant for a lot of people.
Yeah, it was sad. The one pilot was flying 4 or 5 days later in another air show.
Really?
They make him get right back in and fly.
Oh gosh.
So then the next 3 pictures, these I took, they're a little crooked. I was in the co-pilot seat on a twin-engine plane flying through the Grand Canyon.
Oh, that's the Grand Canyon.
And when we went out to the Grand Canyon, I didn't know we were going to fly right down in there.
Oh.
So I took 3 pictures. Well, I took a lot of them, but
Well, those are really interesting pictures.
yeah, you wonder, is he going to turn here? No, because if he turns there, he crashes into the canyon.
Yeah.
And one more. It's beautiful down
That
there.
one is straight anyways.
Yeah, but we're curving. We probably went 50 miles through the Grand Canyon. I think they've outlawed it now because I think they've had planes and helicopters crash.
Oh,
one
probably,
going one way,
yeah.
one going the other way. And somewhere I got off on scuba diving. So the next one, let's see here. I knew I'd do that. Oh, I've taken, balloons. I rode with this pilot.
Were you in a balloon when you
Yes.
took this picture?
And I learned you don't want to be the first balloon out and you don't want to be the last. You want to be like in the middle so you got balloons all around you.
Oh, okay.
And my pilot was from Ohio
Uh-huh.
and I rode with him that year and then Chris rode with him the next year. And this is just a crowd at Jamestown Airport that they used to get some crowds. Now we're over at Jamestown.
Oh, yeah.
The one picture about almost in the middle of the pictures at Jamestown YMCA. I think the Hotel Jamestown's the bottom left of the picture.
Okay.
And then we, City Hall
Oh,
and
yeah.
Lucy Theater, the Regland, they are all in there. But we ended up way out in I ended out on just before Stillwater Road. This is part of Jamestown. I think that building there that with the big smokestack, part of that burned.
Oh, did
They
it?
had a big fire there one time. But that's North Main Street going down to Brooklyn Square.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But we went right over Jamestown, and it was well worth the trip. That is over Jamestown again, looking towards Brooklyn Square. This is McKinley Avenue in Jamestown. That old church, the brick building,
Uh-huh.
is where I went to from about when I was born till age 13. They tore the back half off it quite a few years ago, and last year the front started to fall down, so they
Demolished
demolished
the rest of it.
Last I knew it was still sitting there. And
That's-
this is just the airport when we're leaving.
Oh, yeah, that's a pretty interesting picture with all of the balloons up in the air like
Oh, yeah,
that. Yeah.
Think of the balloon rallies they have like in Albuquerque with hundreds and hundreds of balloons.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be great. Is that it, Chris, on the balloons? Okay, I guess my next pictures are some unusual ones I've done.
Oh, yeah,
Unless I've
unusual
already-
pictures.
Okay, Photoshop started by me. This was my cousin back in the 70s. Cut his head off, put it on a plate. This turned on people back then. They thought that was so cool. My cousins still love it, but he's in a box, but it looks like he's on a plate getting served up for lunch.
Oh, yeah.
But so I figure I'm the one that started Photoshop. Nowadays you can do it so easy by cutting the head off. And
Yeah.
what's the next one there, Chris? Oh, yeah, Gail. She's got something with her.
Yeah, I've actually got the copies of those pictures.
That one's got to turn up, right? This one over here.
Oh, yeah.
You're sideways.
The one with the enormous forehead.
She was having a bad hair day one day when she came in before she combed it. I had to get pictures of her. Look at this.
Yeah.
Man, you ought to see her before she comes in on the show.
That's what I look like when I get out of bed in the
Yeah,
morning.
she forgot to comb her hair that morning. But that's Gail. That's just a Photoshop effect.
Yeah,
pinch.
Randy was showing me these pictures. He said, "Look at these pictures that I photoshopped of you," and I said, "Can you get me? Can I have those to take home and show to Carl?"
It's a basic thing on Photoshop. You click on a filter, and it's called pinch. You can make the picture go in or out, and it just came out that way.
Yeah.
Carl probably says it's like you in the morning. What do you think? So what else we got up there on there?
He got a big smile on his face when I showed them to him.
There's Wimpy.
Yeah,
They paid you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
is that supposed to be you?
That's me. The next one's even better, talking about hoarding toilet paper. I'm the guy that got all the toilet paper. I got the big
Well,
rolls.
when you didn't just do that recently, did you?
No, it's been a few years.
Yeah,
I just finally found
Look
Scott toilet paper back at Walmart after months.
I know. I've been looking for whole wheat. I finally found whole wheat flour after 2
Crazy.
months.
I mean, I think they're just stacking this stuff.
Yeah,
I think
really.
it's there. The next ones are going to be some Photoshops.
And that would be Jeff?
Oh, that's me.
No, that is you?
My glasses got a little deformed. But
Uh-huh.
got that one, and then we did a little zigzagging.
Oh, yeah.
So Photoshop's a ball. There's a lot of different things you can do with it. The next one's going to be even better.
Oh, that's Jeff.
That's Galen.
Oh, that's Galen. Oh, okay.
He's juggling his head. Yeah, he's juggling it. The next one is Jeff.
The next one.
Jeff.
Jeff.
Now, Jeff sat on a chair with green over it, with the big green screen in back of him.
Mm-hmm.
And after I took out the green and added a few Jeffs in there, this is what we got. The next one's just, the next ones are going to be more modern ones. This is Ed Triscutt. His son-in-law, I think, was just in here, the last guest on the show of Dax. But they give the sleigh rides at Chautauqua.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm going to, let's see where I'm at, because I know I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah.
Oh, right about how many pics.
Yeah, I thought we were going to do the Photoshops later.
Let's
in
start
the
up
program.
here, yeah. Let's stop right there and the pictures, how many?
Well, we've already looked at 17 through 19.
Let's go pictures. I've taken maybe 45,000 prints. That's just the prints that you have to have developed. I've done probably 1,300 slides and over 20 of these 8mm movies over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And now when you go to the digital age, I got to be in several 100,000.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever actually developed pictures like with the old-fashioned way?
Oh yes,
Mm-hmm.
I developed them for 4 or 5 years before I even took it at college.
Oh.
I graduated, we did our all-night party, and I started college the next day, and I learned black and white photography, which was a lot of time in a darkroom down at
Yeah.
JCC. And that was fun. I mean, I loved it. And then in the fall that year, they started color photography, which it's more of a pain. You can't really, it's expensive, but I took color class. So developing pictures was a great time.
Are you a professional?
No, I don't even want to be a professional. I just like taking pictures.
Okay.
I can enter like the fair, which last year I had a good time. I got a couple best of shows.
Mm-hmm.
You go up there and you put your pictures in for a week during the fair, and people can go in Floral Hall and check them out. But I don't want to be a professional. Because if you goof up, then people are going to start suing you.
Oh, yeah.
If you
Oh,
goof
yeah.
up and you're
Oh,
just an
yeah.
amateur, they're just going to get mad at you.
Well, we've already shown, I think some of the pictures got shown ahead of when
Yeah, I got a little ahead here. I knew I would.
Because I see down here you've got pictures 8 and 9, weddings and portraits.
Yeah, I got a little off. I knew I would.
Have you actually ever done photography for the newspapers?
I've had a lot of pictures in the papers. They used to put your name in. Now it's either submitted photos, or I have a website, Facebook page where I put a lot of the ferry and had Chautauqua Bell and stuff on it. And the ferry, usually they'll grab my pictures off there and write an article and put with it. So, but I've done pictures probably since after I started for the paper. I grew up reading the paper, and the photographer's name was Richard Hallberg. He had all the photos, and all I could think was, oh, that would be so cool, to take pictures, go develop them at the Post-Journal, and then put them in the paper and have your name there.
Oh, yeah.
So he was my hero as growing up. I never met Richard, but he was back in the probably 60s, 70s, maybe 80s. He was their photographer, but photographers nowadays, he might have back then, they have to write the articles too, and I'm a terrible writer.
Are you really?
Absolutely horrible.
So you would have to have somebody else write the articles.
Yeah,
about the
I've done
pictures
articles.
that
I've
you
had
took.
like a main section one time in a paper. I worked with a lady from the paper, and she'd retired. She'd been a weekend editor. She lived out in Montana, and I would do the pictures, get her the contact information. She'd call them and write it. And then one time she was in town, and we went to several places and did articles together.
And you were a photographer for the 1975
Oh yeah, I got a
Falconer Junior Senior High School.
yes.
That's where my husband went to high school.
And our year was, we were reflections, because you can turn 1957 into 75. So we're mostly all born in 57.
Oh, yeah.
And graduated in
Okay.
75. But
Okay.
most of the like candid shots, I was photographer. I had one other kid, Randy Robbins, that did some of them. But even being a photographer I had to run of the school. I could go outside, I could do anything. But one day I was staging a pretend fight in a locker or in a library. And the librarian came in, and she thought they were really
It was a real fight.
No, I just get a picture. But I did smoking in the boys' room.
Uh-oh.
The kids used to go in and smoke, and I got a picture, and I think they
Of
put it
the
in the
boys
yearbook.
smoking in
Got
the...
another kid there, and the year we were seniors, the budget didn't pass, so everything was soup. So they put the caption under this one guy, "Soup Again,"
Oh.
'cause that's how they could sell that year because of not passing their budget. But
Oh,
school
I see.
photography was,
Do you mean in the cafeteria that they
yeah, that's all they could sell.
was soup?
Was soup. And I worked in there, and I sold milk and helped sell ice cream, and our lines were just, they could sell milk, we had long lines, and back then it was like 4 cents, 5 cents.
Oh, yeah.
4 for white, 5 for chocolate. But I worked in the cafeteria for about 3 years. So.
Oh.
But when I had to work for the janitor, so I had to run of the school as a yearbook photographer. If I wanted to leave and go take pictures somewhere, I'm going to go take pictures.
Okay, so do you shoot videos?
Yeah, I do a lot with Channel 5, not as much as we did. Use a small video camera, but this camera here will shoot video.
Okay.
You'll see me a lot of times shooting a Chautauqua Bell. I love getting a bell when it's coming into the outlet in Jamestown. And I'm always learning, because I'd get it looks beautiful, but the camera keeps focusing.
Oh.
So I get this jerk, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? So finally I figured out I could hit autofocus, focus, switch it to manual, and keep it on the same focus and get it coming in. But right here is the Chautauqua Bell.
Oh, yeah.
And they know I like to get the geese. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
there.
there's
I know the geese,
there's
and right
the
where the
geese.
geese are. You can see a little movement in it.
Oh,
in the
yeah.
video, but right,
And they're all busy, they're all hurrying to get away from the
he
Chautauqua
blows
Bell.
the whistle, and away they go. But I got friends, stages that own the Chautauqua Bell, so You see me on there a lot of times riding it. But I love to film it when it's in Jamestown. It's just, you got the old, all the steamboats went into the boat landing down there, so this is the only one that's left, and it's really cool. So that's one video.
The Chautauqua Bell.
You'd see me awesome.
A trip on the Chautauqua.
I could hear this out my bedroom window when the bell's coming down the lake or down from Celeron, so I know to get over there and catch it coming in.
Yeah.
And then I have a couple more videos. I think the next one is going to be a funny one, Chris. He's got to find it. Juggling.
Oh, the juggling one that you were talking
I did
about.
it here. And to make it look more realistic, I had the monitor behind me, so everything I was photographing was going on the monitor at the same time.
Uh-huh.
So it looks like I got one Frisbee, and it looks like I'm juggling a whole bunch.
Oh, yeah.
And I forgot what the third video is. Oh,
Oh,
Galen.
it's Galen Zook. He looks like a
Sounds
ghost.
that up.
He looks like a ghost in it. You can see right through him.
Oh, this is what I'm going to talk about, green screening.
Oh, green screening.
Green screening is, I lost it. Yeah, I'm going to lose my camera.
So
Green screening is something that you can put pretty much any color, but most people don't wear green.
Uh-huh.
So you use green or blue or anything. It was black back when I was in college, but this thing's going to pop out and probably kill me. I know it's going to knock everything all over. Oh, told ya!
Yes.
Okay, this is a
yes.
small one. This is for, you can use either blue or green. What happens is you photograph the person or in here, and then on your photo program, you take the green out so you can put a background in.
Oh, okay.
But when I did Galen, it was like one of my first tests that he was wearing a green shirt.
Uh-huh.
So it made him invisible.
Okay.
And I put him in the cemetery, Jamestown. There's
Oh,
a
is that
place in the
where that was?
cemetery.
Was
Yeah,
in the
and he,
cemetery.
I killed my drone. I knew I would.
Should I go over?
No, that's okay. But
go over there and get
so green
that?
screen is what I'm really wanting to get into. But these green screens they sell you are wrinkly. You want to keep the wrinkles out of them, and I'm not having any luck getting the wrinkles out of them. I got a 10 by 13 and a.
Can you use one of those things they call steamers?
I've tried it.
And
Steamer
that
and iron. You know the thing you put pesticides in it, filled that with water and sprayed it, and you can't get them out. I guess it's a material they make them with. They're cheap, but they give you the cheap ones there. They're just like the backgrounds here, except they're green.
Green.
But this thing pops right out, and you can use it for smaller pictures. And that's my big dream, but I don't have anywhere to set. We set the green screen up in here before, and it like takes up half the studio. So they're awful hard to use. So that's the 3 videos I had. I don't know where the sound was on Galen, because Galen about had a heart attack when he did that. Rah, rah, like that.
Oh.
He got done, he's like,
Okay, you have, you like to, we've shown the Photoshop
yeah, I'm not
pics.
sure if have we showed all the Photoshops, Chris? I know you. Well,
I know.
You stopped at. Yeah, we did. So we're done with the Photoshop.
Okay.
We're gonna go to my latest is wildlife.
Wildlife, okay.
And this is somebody left grapes on the ground,
And
and the goose.
and the
loved
goose.
them. I left
ate
grapes
them.
on the ground. They wouldn't touch them. But I got several pictures here. You can just go through them and show them. And I love catching stuff like that. Geese, seagulls eating fish. But once they found the grapes, they were just into them.
Oh, yeah.
But right now they got their babies. They're a little fussy. But
Oh,
people
yeah.
are feeding
Yeah,
them
they're
bread.
cute.
This they got lucky and finally got a flying one.
Yeah,
that
that's
came out
that's a
halfway
really
decent.
that's a really nice picture.
Problem is, usually a camera will focus on something. It'll focus on the background,
Uh-huh.
and they'll be blurred.
Uh-huh.
This is my duck. This duck
Yeah.
is half domestic and half wild.
Oh,
and
is it really?
It's got bands on it. It hangs out down at the boat landing in Jamestown. As soon as, whatever side you're on, it sees you, it thinks you got food, it'll come to you. There's a seagull having lunch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They are so interesting to watch because they'll beat the heck out of the fish. They'll put it in the water, clean it, and bring it up. And finally, I think it'll just go down. I don't know if I had any more of that one or because I am on the wrong page. Yeah, I guess I had one. And then there's like sunsets. I like to go, there's a group of us that meet at Celeron and
That looks like the night before a really nice day the next day.
I don't know if it's that or rain. I don't remember, but sometimes that sky, it's after the sun goes down, the sky, people all leave, you know. That's when the sky gets colorful. And the next one is the dock at Celeron, which they just put in a new boat landing and fixed the dock. But
Oh, yeah.
this one I like. I do have a picture. We use it for the studio. It's from a different angle. It's got the dock, the lighthouse, and the Chautauqua Bell. And I got the light flashing in the lighthouse, which to do that I had to videotape it. Because there's no way, you see the light flash go like that, it's already done. So I videotaped it, and then I was able to cut the picture out of the video.
Yeah.
And it came out pretty cool. We got a couple more pictures. Looks like mom and babies, geese. This I just took the other day with my new camera lens. Gave it some color. But right now down there, there's just geese after geese. There's babies.
They're all over the place.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
And then I think earlier that day I used my other lens and I got the two woodpeckers.
Oh, yeah.
This is one tree. I think they live on the top of it because they went up there and they were fighting and one flew away and the other one came out. But these aren't the big ones that I want to get, but this is just the woodpeckers. I watch them go around a tree, pecks here, then he pecks there. But you'll be on the trail, this river walk you hear about in Jamestown. The part that goes to Flavanna Avenue is just awesome. It's dirty. Well, the water's dirty because the storm drains come down.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
one drain or one ditch that comes down that ducks live in, and it's just oil and garbage everywhere. And they cleaned up some of the garbage, but yesterday the oil was just, you could see the oil in the water, but the ducks don't care. They eat out of it. But the one day the mallards, there was two of them, and they had so much of this crap stuck to them.
Oh.
They come up and it's just like, it looked like mud, but it's the crap in the water. It's just, they used to have an old dump there too, so that stuff ends up coming out too.
Oh, do you know where the word crap came from?
Me?
I found out. No, I found out that the man that invented the flush toilet, his last name was Crap.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. I'm going, oh, yeah, I read that somewhere, and it's like his first name was John, too. John. So,
John
and they've also.
Johnny?
Yeah, yeah. So.
I won't go with my one comment. One more thing. Well, what have I got here? I got stuff laying all over now, but for a photographer, sometimes you don't have anybody to photograph. So you buy these heads and you practice on lighting and stuff.
Oh, okay. That's for
I
practicing.
could actually put them on I have an old light, these light poles, and he'll be up the height I need, and I'll focus on him, and then I'll get in the picture. It's like doing a selfie, but with a big camera. But I did throw everything on the floor.
Yeah. He threw everything on the floor when he
I'm going
opened
to try
it.
to get this.
Yeah, you were going to say something about what people can do with their old slides from years ago, too.
This can be used as a walking stick, but it's more of like a monopod. It's a tripod to keep your camera so you don't have to hold it so steady so your pictures don't blur.
Okay.
Yeah, can you get that? Yeah, everything went fine. I knew when I opened
We
this
would have to
up.
take off our, I wondered if I could go over there and get it.
I killed the drone. Okay, we're going to talk about this right now. This is, everybody took slides years ago. I mean.
Yeah, I know my husband has a lot of them.
Well, you can take them to a store, they'll print them. It's pricey, 20, 30 cents a piece. Or you can buy this. I'm not sure which camera I'm on, but
So that you can watch them on a computer
You
then?
can put, I don't think I got the right one for the slide, but you can put a slide in here,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can put it in here, which ain't working. Try it this way. I might be upside down. And you're going to view it on the viewer here.
Mm-hmm.
And once it's the way you think it should be, you know, the right side up, you hit a button and it loads it to an SD card, which
Oh.
is this. You do a whole bunch of slides, take this out, you put this in your computer, and you can bring them up just like photographs.
Oh, yeah,
And the way slides are nowadays, they're getting pretty, they're getting beat up. No matter, these were in trays for years. They get scratches, the emulsions coming off them, and if you ever can get a hold of one or borrow one of these, I did probably 1,300 slides with it and put them into my computer. It'll actually do movie film, but movie films, you can do one frame and the quality is absolutely terrible. But it'll come looking something like this when they turn the backs around. And so once you're done with it, now I got this, and it's like I don't have any more slides, so you know it's there. Jeff's got one, and he hasn't used his yet. He bought one before I did. But now there's one last camera that I forgot to talk about for the modern generation. It's one of these stupid things. A phone.
yeah.
These are iPhones or whatever, and they're got them nowadays where the pictures are better than you can do with a big camera like mine. The
Yeah,
quality, but you can't zoom out like.
yeah.
But
yeah.
you can also hook it on here.
And that's a selfie
This
stick?
is a selfie stick. It's made to correspond with the camera, like through, I don't know if they call it Wi-Fi or something, so you can hold it out like that and push the button here.
How do you know?
Well, when you're doing it, your picture's going to be here. You do a reverse.
Oh, you'll be able to see
So
it
what you
there.
see in here, and then you push that button, and it takes the picture.
Okay.
So this is a selfie stick. They're not very expensive. I know I always have to hear about iPads and all that doing a better job from my one kid, you know, who that is.
Yeah, I know who that is.
Mr. iPad man, it's got to have every
Yeah, yeah.
iPad's got to have the phones and
Well,
stuff.
we wouldn't be able to do this program with that without that kid.
And my Vikings hat. So how much time do we have left? Yeah.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
Have you ever messed up?
Oh man, you better believe it. I did when I did the yearbook. They had the Lucia pageant. I think I shot several hundred pictures from the balcony.
Oh, did
It's
you?
dark. None of them come out.
Oh.
But I've also messed up because when you're loading the film and it doesn't load, and you take something, it's like, oh, I could never do it again, and I never got any pictures on the film.
Yeah, yeah.
And video, we have cameras here at the studio. Well, Chris sent me down to Chautauqua to film a thing at the Safety Village one day. It was during Reed's show. So I grabbed the camera thinking he put a tape in it. I went down, I filmed Sheriff Gerasi and Terry Kinberg, and I went around the village, got a whole tour. Got back here, and he never put a tape in it. And that stupid me didn't really. I was spending more time trying to figure out a wireless mic hooked to it. I never even noticed it didn't have a tape in it. So I didn't get nothing. And talk about feeling like an absolute dum-dum. It's like, but yeah, it's, when you take photography, stuff's going to happen. I mean,
Yeah, oh yeah.
I was mentioning to you my wedding, I had to actually take the photographer to court to get anything out of them. And
To get the pictures?
that's why I don't want to do it professional, because if you screw up when they're paying money,
Yeah,
you don't want to screw up a wedding. You only got one shot at a wedding, and
Yeah.
that scares me. And I mean, I've done a lot of weddings. I tell them before, you know, and it used to be one days of just photographs. That was your wedding present. I take the pictures and give you a copy of all the pictures. Because back then they were $7 or $8 for a roll to get them developed. But I'll just work for food. You know, like if you got a reception or something. But I was at my cousin's daughter's wedding in Wyoming. I had to go out there and film that. It was cool. Well, I got time to cut the cake, and I'm new, and I had a Canon camera, and I only had one memory stick, and it wasn't big.
Uh-oh.
And I've been taking pictures. I got to the cake cutting, and I had no more memory.
Uh-oh.
And I'm panicking. I'm running around the place. Wait. I found my cousin, and he sent me to his kid, and I had to steal the card out of his kid's camera and put in mine.
Oh,
So they were the
gosh.
same kind. They were some real oddball one. They're not the little SDs, but it was like, but then he had a laptop computer with, we loaded the pictures to, and it's freed up space. But man, here I am. It's time. Everybody's there to cut the cake, and I can't take a picture. But a lot of times I will just tell people when I'm doing something to have other people there taking pictures. If you go to a wedding, there's always people taking pictures. That's
Oh,
why
yeah. Oh,
I've
yeah.
talked to professional photographers that hate it, because you're here setting up the group, photographing them, and all these people are doing it at the same time and getting probably, decent pictures. So you're doing all this, and they're taking pictures. That cuts your sales right there. But there's us.
I remember when a niece of ours got married and we went to the wedding, they had on the tables,
Little Instamatic cameras.
they had these little
Box
disposable
cameras.
cameras
That
where
got to be popular.
you take the pictures and then
They get them developed, and they have each table memories. Yeah.
I remember seeing some pictures that somebody took. Carl was wiping his mouth, and I had my mouth full of food.
Oh, that's the best time to catch people.
It was a cute picture.
Yeah,
it
that's
really
the best time
was.
to catch them. But
So,
yeah, those little cameras. My cousin for her daughter's wedding, wanted a photo booth. The only photo booths I knew were you go to the mall, and put a couple quarters in it, takes your picture. I'm like, how am I going to get one of these to Wyoming? Finally, they bought a little bench, little white bench, really nice, put some flowers there, and the idea was you come in, you sit down, they take your picture. Well, she wanted Polaroids, and I go, no, don't use Polaroids. They had little printers that would print a 4x6. I go, get one of them, and they had a girl do it, and it would print it out, and then you would sign your name there and put it in the book.
well, when I was a teenager, my friends and I would go to Midway Park. They had certain evenings of the week, they had like dances in the roller skating rink and like that, but we'd always want to go in, and they had this little booth that
Photo booth?
yeah.
They still got it, I think.
Do they
I
still
don't know
have
if it works, but I think they still have it.
But you could go in and put your money in, and it would take like a strip of, I think it was 3 or 4 pictures of you. Yeah.
That's what I thought I was going to have to take to Wyoming. And it's like, you could run them, but I'd never heard of a photo booth before that, except for those kind of photo booths. But
Well, is there anything you want to say real quick?
no, I think I shot my mouth off enough.
Okay.
These are just some fair pictures. I was so happy. I got 2 best of shows last year.
This is really nice, the one of the duck.
Yeah, he's like shy.
Yeah.
I think I got the best of show on Lucy too. I can't remember. But I think I had 4 or 6 pictures entered, and I got a first place, a couple best of shows. I got I think a second, a third, and one didn't get me anything. But
Well, thank you so much for appearing on Fresh Perspectives today.
yes, I'm
It's
crazy.
been a little bit hard to line people up because of the coronavirus. People don't want to really come in and stuff. So it was really nice of you to do this today.
Oh, it's
and
fun.
I think it was a really interesting
Hopefully
episode.
it wasn't too bad looking, doofusing. You get the stuff all here, and then it's like,
Yeah,
I get out of order
A lot of
and-
stuff. So anyways, we've come to the end of another episode of Fresh Perspectives, and I'll see the rest of you in the viewing audience on the next episode in a couple of weeks.